Hello, good evening. Today is the day 55 of Gear Up Mains Answer Writing, and this is the last day of this program. We already covered the 54 questions of the different subjects from GS1 to GS4. The main idea behind this program was so you can understand exactly what is the demand of the UPSC, how we can solve the question, how we can understand the question, how we can break the question into the multiple parts and then write the answer. Where to use the data, where to use case study, where to use good example, how we can frame the answer, how we can use the diagram in the answer. So this was the whole motive behind these classes. And this is the day 55. We are on the last lab today. And today we are going to discuss the question related to ethics, and it will be a case study. I will suggest you please try to write the answer, and then you can check the dimension through these video, what exactly is the requirement and what are you writing, what UPSC want and what you are providing to the examiner. Then only you can find out where are you lacking. When the mostly students start writing the answer, they are writing that thing only जो उनको पता है, जो आपको पता है, but you people are not understanding what exactly question is demanding, what exactly we need to be right. So means decoding of the question is required here. Okay, so please try to write all these answers, compare with the explanation, evaluate yourself and check out where are you lacking. If you are lacking in the content, if you are lacking in the understanding of the exam, if you are not able to write the answer in the coherence. Okay, so let's see what exactly the case study for today. This was the case study that was asked in the 2018 UPSC paper. There are the six case study in the UPSC paper, and each case study carry 20 marks and the total 120 marks case study. And this part of the paper, this part of the ethics paper is the easiest one. If you are practicing very well for the different kind of the case study, if you are thinking like an administrator, if you start thinking like an administrator, if you are solution oriented person, then you can easily answer the case study. Here we need to be focused on the different kind of stakeholders. What can be the impact of your action? What you can suggest in the short run? What you can suggest in the long run? As an administrator, you are not just doing your job. As an administrator, you should be the solution oriented person in different situations. You can address what's required for this specific situation, even if during the riots, even it's for the sustainable developments, even it's for the different kind of the international meeting like the G20 meetings is going on in India. Even it's for the rape victims, even for the, it was during the COVID times. So that's the role of the administrator, to tackle the various situation and to provide the solution during the various period of time. So please try to think like an administrator and provide the stakeholders and the solution for the given example. These are the given example by the UPSC of the different situations that you need to address. Okay, So let's see what exactly this case study is all about. A big corporate house is engaged in manufacturing of industrial chemical. Manufacturing of industrial chemical on a large scale. It proposed to set up an additional unit of that manufacturing of the industrial chemicals. But many states rejected its proposal due to the detrimental effect on the environment. From here we can get these chemical industries impacting the environment. That's why the different states reject the proposal for set up an industry in their states. But one state government accepted the request and permitted the unit to close to a city and brushing aside the all opposition. One state government keep aside all the controversy about the setting the chemical unit, and they allowed that unit to be set up in the city. This unit was set up the 10 years ago and was in the full swing till recently. It's operating till recently. The pollution caused by the industrial effluents was affecting the land, affecting the water, affecting the crops in this area. It was also causing the serious health problem to the human beings and animals, causing the serious health problems to the human beings and the animals. This gave rise to a series of agitation demanding the closure of the units. This gave agitation to the local people, and they are demanding the closing of this unit. In the recent agitation, thousands of the people took part, creating the law and order situation, necessitating the police action, following the public outcry. The state government ordered the closure of the factory. After this agitation, the state government ordered the closure of the factory, and the closure of the factory resulted in the unemployment not only for the worker who were engaged in the industry, but also those who are working in the ancillary units, means those who are working in the forward linkage and the backward linkage industry. Also badly affecting the industry which dependent on this chemical manufacturing unit. As a senior officer entrusted the responsibility of handling these issues, how are you going to address this situation? Now you will act as an officer here and you will tell how you are going to handle this kind of the situation. So in the crux, what is the case study? A big corporate want to open the chemical industry. He already have the multiple industry, but he want to open a new chemical industry. Various state government decline that they will not allow to open these industry, but out of that all the states, one state government agreed and they allowed to open the industry. After operation of the some years, after operation of the many years, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, the repercussion of the industry is seen in the form of the land, in the form of the water, in the form of the affecting the animals and the human beings. So there was agitation by the local people. We want this industry should be closed, and due to seeing the agitation of the thousands of the people, the state government ordered the closure of the factory. When there is a closure of the factory, it will lead to the unemployment. It will also affect those industries which are depending on this manufacturing units. Means it will affect the employment of the industry, it will affect the employment of the forward and the backward linkage industry as well. And it will also affect those industries which are dependent on the chemical produced by these manufacturing units. And so you are a senior officer in this area, and the government asked to entrusted with the responsibility of handling this situation, and how are you going to address it? This is about the case study. So whenever we are start writing the case study, we need to be focused on the 2-3 aspects. The first aspect, we need to be focused on the stakeholders. Stakeholders who are involved in this situation. Second, we need to be focused on the question, means what action you will take and your responsibility. how you will address the situation. First, we will focus on the stakeholders who are involved in this case study. Second, we will look what solution as an officer you will provide. As usual in the question, we will introduce the case study in the 2 lines and we finally conclude the case study in the 2 lines. But the main demand is here, how you are going to explain this, the stakeholders and the responsibility. Think here, who are the stakeholders in this case study? The number 1, the corporate house. The second, the people who involved in the employment. Third, state government. Fourth, yourself. Fifth, the units which are dependent on this industry. So you need to be right, the stakeholders in a row, these are the stakeholders in this case study. So we are writing the stakeholders in this case study. So these are the stakeholders. Big corporate house which are establishing or set up this industry in this area. Unemployed worker after the closure of the industry. Downstream industries means the industry which are depending on the manufacturing of this chemical industry. Then the environment, it's also the major stakeholders. Then the local public and yourself. These are the 6 stakeholders we identified because these are the mainly involved. These stakeholders are mainly involved in this case study. Big corporate house, he is the owner. If the industry is going to close, who will be the maximum affected? The owner of the industry. The corporate house will be affected. So he is the major stakeholders. Then in that next case, we can say the unemployed worker. The unemployed worker. When the industry is going to be closed, those workers who is going to be unemployed, even from the industry and even from those industries which are linked to it. Downstream industry, the industry which are dependent on this chemical unit and getting as a raw material, the chemical as a raw material. So this downstream industry is also involved here. Environment as the chemical industry impacting the water, impacting the air, impacting the environment. So you need to look at a sustainable development situation as well. Next is the local public, those who are doing the agitation because the effect on the water, air and the environment directly impact this local public. And then yourself, which are a major stakeholders which are going to see this situation and to provide the solution. Okay. So whenever you start writing a case study, you need to list down the stakeholders. Which stakeholders are involved in this case and what is their responsibility. So here we identify the corporate house, unemployed worker, downstream industry, environment, local people and the yourself as an officer. Now we need to write the second part here. The case study is demanding as a senior officer entrusted with the responsibility of handling this situation, how you are going to address it. Means you need to give a solution here, how you are going to address this situation. आप डायरेक्ट तो ये नहीं बोल सकते कि इंडस्ट्री को क्लोज होने दो, it's impacting, but the impact on employment, the impact on environment, the impact on the downstreaming industry, the impact on the person who are working in those downstreaming industry. So we need to suggest a solution which is not the direct solution, which is impacting the major stakeholders. We need to provide a solution which is a win-win situation for the each stakeholders and there is a less impact. So let's see what solution as a officer you can provide. So how we are going to address this situation? The first one, engage with the company. Engage with the company. First of all, when there is an order of closing down of the company, we need to be discussed with the company manager, company owner itself. We need to be sit down with the company owner and we need to be check if there is any solution. If there is any solution instead of closing down the industry. If the solution, if they are using their excreta as for the treatment plants, and after that they will release in the environment. So the first of all, your responsibility will be, you will engage with the company, you will engage with the management, how you can solve this situation. Next, you will focus on the sustainable development. You will focus on the sustainable development, means here the sustainable development, if it is possible, the emission can be stopped, or there can be a treatment of the emission, before releasing to the environment. So you can focus on the sustainable development, emission, and there can be any solution, there can be the treatment of the emission before releasing into the environment. Then convince the people. Then again you need to be talk those stakeholders, those who are protesting against the industry. You need to convince those people that we are getting the solution so that the industry will not impact the environment. You need to take those stakeholders, the people, those who are protesting, in the confidence. You need to talk with the head of these people, those who are in the protest. So you need to be convince the people as well regarding the industry. Empathetic approach. You will focus on the different kind of the approach. That's the empathetic approach. When dealing with the protesters, you are opposed to the chemical project, I shall maintain a humanitarian process. तो जब आप उनसे बात करेंगे तो you will oppose the chemical project, but you will focus on a solution here. Make a tripartite platform, means where the chemical industry owner, local people, and you, means the government, can sit and talk on a single platform. Make a tripartite platform where you, chemical industry owner, and the local people who are protesting against it. Next is the focus on mitigating the adverse effect. Now the next solution should be how you will manage those side effects, those adverse effects that are due to the closing of the industry. It's the side effect of maybe the unemployment, the side effect of the harming or impacting the environment. How is going to provide the solution for it? How you are going to talk with the other industry so they can absorb these unemployed people for the different kind of the skills, different kind of the works. Next is seek expert advice. You need to be consult with the person, those who are expert in these kind of the situations, these kind of the framework, these kind of the chemical industry heads, where you can seek the expert advice before going to take any decision. And finally, no knee-jerk reaction. There should be not an instant reaction on these kind of the issue. You need to be think on, you need to be consult with the different kind of the stakeholders here. You need to provide a constructive solution which will not affect any of the stakeholders, and there should be a win-win situation for each stakeholder. So you can write this case study in this way. First we addressed about the stakeholder involved here, and then we write about the addressing the situation, and the case study is all about this thing. As a senior officer entrusted with the responsibility of handling these issues, how we are going to handle. So we address how we are going to handle here, how I am going to handle the situation and who are the stakeholders involved here, and this is the case study. Simply you can conclude the case study. Government administrator is just not like a job. You need to be a thinker. You need to be a person who can provide the solution for a different situation. There should be, you can think for the different perspective, the different stakeholders. So this is the requirement of this case study. Whenever you are solving the case study, there can be a different situation. This is the one out of them. There can be the situation related to the Nirbhaya, like the Nirbhaya Kand in 2011. There can be the situation of the Manipur riots. There can be the situation of the Gurugram riots related to the Hindu-Muslim. There can be a situation related to the Bollywood movie. There can be a situation related to the flood, handling the flood situation into the Uttarakhand and the Himachal Pradesh. There can be a ethical dilemma in between when you are going through the road, and there are the four conditions. One is your aged parents, other is the ambulance, one is the terrorist is going on, one is the PM convoy, which will go first. And there can be the numerous situations that can be created. So you need to give your solution as per the situation and which is the best, means which are affecting less to the each stakeholders. Okay, so this is done for today, and this was the last class of this program, the Gear Up Mains Answer Writing. This is the conclusion of the Gear Up Mains Answer Writing, the last class of the Gear Up Mains Answer Writing. We covered the 55 questions here from the different subjects, even it's the history, even it's the geography, polity, society, social justice, international relation, economy, science and technology, environment and ethics. So we touched on the each subjects. We almost take the 5-6 questions from the each subject. I discussed the approach, how you can break the question into the multiple parts, how you can address the each part separately so there can be the coherence in the answer, how you can take the heading itself from the questions, how you can think the different kind of dimensions, how can you include the example, the case study, data in your answer. So if you are going to watch this program, the Gear Up Mains Answer Writing, please try to write the answer first, compare your answer with the discussion, think on it, where are you lacking in your thinking skills, how you are relating the situation with the different kind of dimensions. That is the major requirement in the answer writing. If anybody have any doubts, you can come to the Edukemy Center also. You can mention your doubt into the Telegram group also, and even you can text me on the Telegram. Okay, so we will come soon with the new type of the course that can help you in the both prelims and the mains. That should also be the Gear Up. It may be for the prelims, it may be for the current affairs. So soon we are going to come up with a new program. So we will meet again after some time. Thank you everyone.